Lords of Sin is a dark and brutal Dungeons & Dragons narrative play intended for adults and adults only. Specific content warnings can be found in the episode descriptions. We're back, and we're committing the oldest sins in the newest ways. But the classics never go out of style.
Where the windows were once lit by warm candlelight, they sit dusted by an age of dust and cracked. The stones that once slotted together nearly perfectly, seamlessly, are cracked as the foundation has sunken of the small, white stone house. Those cracks have been mortared with a dark, greenish-brown moss. And as Kalista turns from the group, she enters the small house, the door barely hanging on to a pair of rusted hinges. And within, it is bare, picked clean from a century of scavengers, picked clean by a century of age, years and years wearing down the fabrics of the curtains, the tablecloth that has been chewed away and eaten away by time or mice. It's hard to tell. The cupboard doors hang open, and nothing sits inside the shelves. A rug that probably was magnificent in its prime is worn thin, like a ragged blanket on the floor. But it is 4 walls and a roof. And that is where you find yourself currently.
Oh! That was different than the last time. I've teleported many times, but I will say, this one has a very particular experience to it. Is that just real smoke? Is the smoke you use just real smoke?
Somewhat, yes. I mean, I did my best.
It's not bad. It's just.
And another reason you find yourself coughing isn't just the smoky vapor around almost everything that Lorwryn does, but also the air here feels much thinner. Not to the point that you can't catch your breath, and honestly not as thin as you might expect knowing where Thaval-Ahim is located, but there is a distinct difference in the amount of oxygen in the air versus in Highgale.
Oh, that explains it. We just went from sea level to in the mountains instantaneous.
Are you getting altitude sickness?
No.
He's lying. Don't let him. No, he's lying.
No, I am a monk. I've learned to control my body.
If you're going to do that, do it outside, please. At least have manners.
If I go outside, it's because I wanted to, not for any other reason that you're saying, as he, starts to walk towards the door. Not going outside to get fresh air, because this is musty air. I'm used to steps
Once
outside.
again, you lack manners, Shin. You don't insult somebody's house while you're sitting in there.
I'm not insulting it. I'm just not throwing up on it.
And Shin, as you dash out the door, have you ever been to Thaval-Ahim before? It's not an easy trek, but it is a very old city.
I'm going to say no for this time. I don't think that whenever I was with the time that me and her spent together, I don't think we ever came back here. I think I met her when she was really studying magic.
Got it.
Yeah, I didn't bring Shin home to meet my parents, so...
Yeah, no, we never made that far. It did not go that way.
Well, maybe for the best, who knows? As you step outside, the clearest, brightest blue sky, strong winds, but you behold the magnificent city that is Thaval-Ahim. If a list exists somewhere of the wonders of Ivor, the Queen Spire of Higale would certainly be on that list. But Thaval-Ahim in its entirety would also be on that list. The oldest part of the city of Thaval-Ahim is built directly upon the peak of the tallest mountain of the Belt of the World, called Aelferus by the elves of Thaval-Ahim, and the Lonely Father Peak by the Windwardians. But as the city grew and expanded, it stretched to floating mountain spurs and peaks around that tallest mountain, connected by bridges of woven mithril and enchanted glass that catch the light of the morning sun. You can see there are enchanted boulders, huge flat faces of stone that float in the air and move to block the most intense of the wind from hitting the city. And as you step outside and take this all in, the sights are amazing, but the sounds... The buildings here are built into and out of the white stone of the mountains, and they glint with mithril decoration. And some of the buildings are constructed in such a way to catch the wind up here and almost sing with flute-like resonant tones. And as you step out of Kalista's home, building, place of residence, place she has, you see Goliaths and dwarves, humans, a few elves, a smattering of goblins, here in what you can tell because you can see the main part of the Thaval-Ahim on Aelferus. You are on one of the floating terraces of Thaval-Ahim currently, a residential area predominantly. You see those other floating parts of the city. One you can even see from here among the clouds seems to be entirely covered in plants and gardens and hanging wonders that should not be able to thrive up here. This place is beyond the capacity of proper description. My words fail at attempting to capture it.
Korrin!
Yes.
Beauty like this is never ceases to amaze. You know, I was a Goliath. The Goliath tribes, we war too much, so we don't create like this. This is. I mean, look at that garden, isn't it? It's crazy.
Val's gonna walk outside when he sees, a Korrin go out, and she's gonna walk outside, and she's seeing Shin like marvel at all of these like beautiful floating mountains and architecture, and she's like, total tourist trap.
What? Like you see Shin. What does that even mean?
I'm just saying, this seems like a place that rich people go to vacation. I don't know.
Yeah, she's not wrong.
Just so you know, Val, the Grasp, home of the Clawbound, about 100 miles from here.
Yeah, I don't come here a lot. Not a lot of monsters here. They don't really need us. This is where people go when they get engaged, or married, or just to have fun. If people have fun.
Korrin, Val, and Shin being the three outside. Could the three of you make me perception checks, please?
And to answer your question, Val, there's not every monster comes with fangs and teeth and gnawing maws. Sometimes they're just someone in a cloak, in a fancy cloak.
He looks over at Shin. Looks over. It's really not the kind of monster she deals with. She really has a very narrow field of what monsters are to her. We worked a lot, and she misses on that stuff.
Wait, the monsters are I don't deal with a lot of cloak-wearing monsters.
See? Like, he looks Korrin in the face and is like, see what I mean?
Those just sound like bad people. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
what I'm getting at, dear.
Oh, okay.
How often do you work with other people?
Not often. This is my first group event, really.
He looks at Korrin and just to, like, in a knowing way of like, listen to this answer. Actually, upon further, diving here, how often do you just see other people outside of your cloistered clawbound?
I mean, on holidays. Try to go back on holidays.
Go back to where?
The clawbound.
Yeah, no, the question I asked was, do you see people outside of the clawbound? How often does that happen?
I mean, generally when I'm asking for their money, or when at the beginning of a job or the end of a job, they don't like to go with me during the job because that's my job.
I understand how a job works.
Okay.
No one's taking that from you at all. It's just I'm very curious. Your social skills.
Mm-hmm.
Do they get exercised a lot, like your same as your monster hunting skills, dear?
I'm beginning to say no.
Did you say beginning to say no?
You're doing fine, sweetie. We're gonna put that in a note. We're gonna work on that, okay? But hey, you're talking, you're communicating with us, and that's the first step. You're doing fine, okay? Yeah.
What did the three of you get? What did the three of you get on those
28.
perception checks?
5.
Whew.
She calls it a tourist trap and notices nothing about it.
It's not really.
Shin, what did you get?
I got a 14.
All right. With a 14, actually all of you notice one thing, and that is above the area where you are, in the sky, the beautiful, nearly cloudless sky up here. Most of the clouds are below you. There are numerous people, dozens, flying in the air. They all glint with armor and weapons. Shin and Korrin, with a 14 and much higher for Korrin, the two of you notice that they are clustered almost entirely around the terrace, the floating section of mountain you are currently on. Korrin, you notice something additional. And you notice it because you see a couple of people stopped and reading a posting on one of the notice boards. You just see a couple of people gathered around, reading it, and you can even read from here, by order of the Pinnacle Court. The rest you can't make out from here.
Korrin takes out her glasses. Well, I can't see everything.
Shit's glasses, that's
but
adorable.
Listen, when you get old. Well, it looks like they're gathered down there to read a notice on the board down there. I can't read everything, but it says by notice something, and so far in our adventures that everything is bad at this point, so it's probably something really important.
Okay, I'll go check it out. And Shin flies, wings unfurled. I'm assuming there's no... You have to, like,
Oh, you can
fly
walk. No,
okay.
this is all because not everyone here flies. Most people just walk. This is a pretty large terrace, and it's only about 100 feet from you.
Okay. Well, he dashes and just...
Okay. As you head that way, let's cut inside the house, where we still have Kalista, Jaeger, and Lorwryn.
Kalista has taken a seat on one of the less rickety-looking chairs after efficiently getting most of the dust off, and she's just sitting there almost expectantly, almost impatiently waiting for people to come back into the room. It's kind of hard to read her face, but she's sitting there with her legs crossed.
Jaeger looks from a window outside to where the other three went and kind of stands up and looks back at Kalista and Lorwryn. Why would a city want to trap tourists? Should they not keep them flowing from city to city?
It is a turn of phrase. It is they don't keep people trapped up here. They just it is it's like marketing. They just try to keep people here so they keep spending money and things like that. So it's like an emotional trap versus like an external trap. They're not like, oh my god, I'm trapped, I'm in jail, I can't, I mean, unless they do something wrong here, and then of course yes, they're in jail, but it's not quite that same way.
To boil this town down to a tourist trap is an insult. It is far from one.
Yeah, it does not seem like it would be a tourist trap. It is kind of a big city.
And the visitors are stuck on the pinnacle we sit right now. Not entirely stuck, but they tend to stay here.
Not every house is... I'm assuming this has not had a lot of visitors since you left.
What gave it away?
She kind of scratches her boot on the ground and kicks up a little dust. Just a thought.
It's been some time, yes.
Understandable.
It's worth a small fortune at this point with the price increase of the city, but we'll see how long that lasts.
Well, perhaps maybe, since we're not dealing with the God of Wrath anymore, we don't have to worry about the entire city burning.
That would be preferable.
Yes. Or dropping the entire city on whatever's below us at the moment.
I wouldn't put that out of options. There's still a chance of that.
True.
We cut back to Shin heading towards that posting with Val and Korrin behind. Shin, you get there first, the other two just slightly behind, wasn't far away. Like I said, there are a couple people gathered around. They leave, more people stop and read the posting, as you do as well. By order of the Pinnacle Court, all residents of the Low Terrace are to remain in their homes between sunset and sunrise. All residents of the Low Terrace are subject to search by members of the Skywatch. And in smaller writing, towards the bottom, in my capacity as Echo Keeper, I, Utneriel of the Third Terrace, do attest that this order is approved by a majority vote of the Pinnacle Court. Tamarith of the Second Terrace, Elder of the Pinnacle Court, dissents. The people here, reading it, shake their heads, some of them, others, nod and shrug, and then go about their business.
They put the town on a curfew?
Shin is fast. Shin basically, you guys are reading, Shin's already read all this. You see his face scrunch. He looks at you, Korrin, and he after images, just flies, it's the fastest he can run, the fastest he's capable of running. He runs back to the house, to Kalista.
It just says between sunset and sunrise, right? That they have to stay inside.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the only, there's no...
Why put a curfew on a town?
Vampires. It's my first guess. It's not my only guess, but...
No, sweetheart, you know, I'm not even knocking that idea at all. That's actually a pretty smart idea. You do fight a lot of monsters and everything like that. Do demons have control over vampires? Does that go in hand with any of the ones that we'd be fighting?
Do I know anything about devils and teaming up with monsters like of the night, like werewolves or vampires or something that would operate during that time?
Devils have many servants. They aren't limited by species. There are other sub-types of devils below the archdevils who are their more frequent cohorts, servants, armies, but many serve forces of evil, regardless of species.
Okay.
Shin, like, Kalista, what you see is the door fly open, but before it slams into the wall, it's caught and then immediately closed. Like it's all one fluid wind-like motion. And then Shin is standing like 5 feet away from you. And you feel kind of the breeze come off the whole movement. Kalista, I know nothing about this city, but I have a question. A place as beautiful as this, as enlightened, and has it always had, what's the best word for this? A caste system of sorts. Is there a lower balcony, lower terrace? Are they treated as lesser than here?
Kalista does not react beyond uncrossing and recrossing her legs. Not really. Majority of those that are not born here or deemed foreigners reside on the lower terrace. As far as being welcomed to the main city, we are welcomed there. We can work there, we can exist. We just reside here. And our voice is not heard on the council, but that's beside the point.
But have you ever... How do I put this? Are you familiar with the term a military state?
This is not a military state, if that's what you're wondering.
Then I know where we should start looking. And they are not going to like the answer. And he regales to Kalista everything that the posting says, or had said.
I suspect we'll need to see the council.
I suspect it is the council. This doesn't seem like the type of place that would enact that kind of order.
It's unusual. I spent near 100 years here, and there was never an order of anything similar or as
Curfews,
drastic.
random search and seizures. Yeah. I think we should start with the council.
I wonder if my father's name has any sway. He used to, at one point. I'll see what I can do.
Lorwryn, I do not want to make assumptions about your people, but is it safe to assume you are comfortable in the dark?
I can be, yes.
Because the curfew concerns me.
At this point, Valkerie and Korrin return and re-enter the home as well.
You know, Val, if once this is all over, like, at the tavern, we have a lot of community events, and that you're more than welcome to come and meet a lot of different people, and, you know, outside of work, and you know, be able to meet some new friends and have some great food and get to meet wonderful new people.
Are you inviting me to a party?
Well, it's not necessarily like a party, but, you know, it's more of a gathering. A community event.
I don't mean to butt in, Korrin, but make sure that you clearly state to her not to eat any of anybody's dreams.
What? I would never do that to at a party.
I just think that you need to, Korrin, when you're dealing with Val, you need to create very clear, defined boundaries, and basically almost like a legal form. Like, you need to make sure that you state every single
I do
boundary.
enjoy knowing my limits. But
1,
you know.
You're invited in. 2, the rules are on my wall. No fighting, or you got to fight me. And other than that, just have fun and respect everybody's boundaries.
Sounds nice.
The eating dream part, Korrin.
That's underneath the boundaries part.
I promise not to eat anyone's dreams. If that feels, I'll just state that I will not eat anyone's unless they're consenting dreams. You know.
Is that what you like to eat?
Yes.
That's
She takes out a notebook and just write. It's like a little mini cookbook. Figure out how to make dreams into food. Got it. All right.
Dream.
So are we going to go down to the lower terrace tonight? Is that... I assume, Shin, that's what you're telling them.
I'm not telling that. I think you and Lorwryn should lead an excursion into the lower terrace at night, since both of you, I assume, are comfortable in the dark.
Yes.
They won't have to go far. We currently are sitting on the lower terrace.
We are?
Yes.
I'm not from here. I don't know what the lower terrace is. It could have been farther down the way. I don't know. It just said the lower terrace is getting searched and seizured, and that there's a curfew.
Why would they put the thing on the upper terrace where they're not getting search and seizure? They put it where everybody sees it, so they know that they are underfucked.
I will tell you, in my experience, usually it's a way to keep the poor people from going up. Like, you know, they have it on the lower terrace, but they also have it on the upper terrace too. It'd be like, hey, remember, you're supposed to be down there. That sort of thing.
You're not wrong. And I'm sure it is up on every terrace. But this is the lower terrace.
Wait. Are you
didn't come from money?
Are you poor?
Not
Oh
everyone
my
has
god.
glorious-
You're poor. That's why you are the way you are.
Kalista just pinches her nose for a second before she stands up.
But I do actually have a question about this. Are the elves the only ones on the upper terraces?
Yes.
And so it's the other Goliaths and dwarves and goblins who are on the lower terraces, generally.
Not generally. That is how it is, yes. And some elven families, like my family.
Wait,
Okay.
you're not from here.
We moved here when I was young.
Gotcha. But even then, was there a divide?
Of course.
Like-
But not a random searches and a curfew. But the divide has always existed.
It just seems odd. If one of the sins is targeting the people here, they would not just be targeting the lower terraces.
No.
And the part that concerns me, one of the things that concerns me is the particular line that says, that basically qualifies. You know what I mean? Where he says that, like, I assure you I got this by unanimous vote from the council. Nobody in actual higher power ever has to say that. They just make the statement. And so, what it says to me, subtextually, is influence. Being influenced. There's an outside influence involved in all this.
We already know there is.
I know, but now we know exactly where he is.
Where else would
Which,
pride sit?
of course, he would be in the upper tiers. Of course, he would be there.
Of course he would sit upon the council. But that's not that unusual for a right in this city. That is just the official signing. Every city has their own quirks and rules, and that is just one of them.
And one thing I will note, The posting didn't say it was unanimous. In fact, it said that it was approved by a majority with one dissenter.
I think we should go to the High Council if we can get there.
I'm fairly certain we can get there. It's whether or not we'll be allowed in, is the question.
Well, how much time do we have till dark? Shin, looks out the window, tries to see the placement of the sun.
It was already approaching evening by the time you teleported away from Highgale. There's a little bit of a time difference here, and you get a little bit more sunlight being thousands of meters above sea level, though not a ton. You probably have hour before twilight, maybe hour and a half or two before full dark.
Can we make it to the upper terrace before it gets dark?
Might be close. Ethan, would I know if they kept hours? If the High Council has, a time where they go out for lunch and where they close the doors?
The Pinnacle Court, which is both the name of the building and the body, and the governing body, is a gerontocracy. Thaval-Ahim is governed by the elders. And elven elders do have a commonality with human elders, and that is they like to go to bed a little bit earlier. So they don't tend to run into the night unless there is a hugely important matter that's being debated at that moment.
It's unlikely they will be sitting currently.
I am not going to lie. I'm at a loss of what to do at this moment.
I think we should prepare.
Prepare?
We don't know the landscape out there. We should walk around outside during the day, at least when we have some light hours, before we try to possibly encounter something in the dark when we don't even know anything about this place.
Oh yeah, Kalista, I think Val thinks we're gonna fight monsters.
What
monster do you think we're gonna fight?
I don't know, a dark monster.
Vampires.
Oh, vampire. Okay, gotcha.
Or a werewolf. I don't know. They also like the night.
I know that's your specialty, Val. But I suspect this curfew has nothing to do with monsters, but rather villainizing a different people than the elves themselves.
That would make sense. Pride's the one here. Oh, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Not that I'm opposed to wandering around the streets at night. Might be an easy way to get a meeting with the council.
Or lock their way in the tower.
What do you think, Lorwryn?
I mean, I can skulk around well enough. It just depends on how well they have Scrying Tome's abilities to see things in the dark. If it is under...
What do you think we should do?
I think we get a little bit of a lay of the land, at least when it comes to talking with people in the city.
Aye.
I would love to know how long this curfew has been in effect, and what they have been doing with it. I don't know too much about this place, but it is one of those places where I would say that the system that they have built is not exactly the most welcoming to anybody from the outside.
All right. Okay. Let's do that. And, well. And he looks at the entire group. I think, actually, between all of us, we could get just about every kind of person to talk. I think, Kalista and Lorwryn, and I guess by extension Jaeger, should handle high society. Me and Korrin will get the lay of the land on the lower end of the spectrum of things. And Val, you do you.
What does that mean?
And you're doing such a great job, sweetie. You're doing a great job.
I mean,
You remember? Hey.
What?
Shin, you remember that whole thing about not being able to talk to women?
This hardly counts.
Mm-mm.
Are you saying she hardly counts as a
This
woman?
hardly counts. Like, no.
Wow.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Like, Shin starts turning red, and it's like, that's not the... Val's one of the bros. Like, you heard her talk. Like,
Wow.
I'm gonna go look for signs of vampires.
You do that. You keep in touch. I was a career-oriented woman, okay? It's all right.
So,
Going to dig for information.
We're gonna go
research. Oh,
Shin's gonna go have tea with poor people. That's
love
it.
it.
Shin's
Yeah.
gonna try to find the most destitute-looking person, and he's gonna have tea with them, and then get them talking.
Love
go find a
that.
spot where there's food.
Oh, food's a great way. Also, you'll notice that Korrin, he's like, oh yeah, food's a great idea. We should cook. And like, Shin is adding. He has a teapot, and somehow the tea is warm in the teapot with his hands, and he is adding whiskey to the tea.
Are you making a hot toddy?
People talk more when they're drunk.
Korrin, are you specifically seeking food here or anywhere? Would you be heading to a particular terrace, a particular location?
The lower end, like still on the lower end
Got
of
it.
things, because, like you said, people will want to talk.
Oh, I'm following Korrin. I'm following Korrin wherever she goes.
So the two of you will be together?
Mhm.
I think Kalista is going to go to probably the third terrace, and she is going to knock on the doors of folks that used to live there, that she used to know. Either
Got it.
friends or co-workers in a sense, but she's going to try to find a familiar.
Okay. Lorwryn?
She's gonna go with Kalista.
Okay, the three of you will be together.
I'm going alone.
Where are you going?
I literally am I'm gonna step outside Callista's home and just start looking for signs of vampires or fiends or the undead, and kind of go where that takes me. If I see, anything like that.
Love it.
I do have an advantage on looking for them, so it makes sense.
Makes absolute sense. Shin?
Can we tie those actually together? Can you be following us? Because it would make sense that if it was vampires, they'd be hunting on the lower end, people that nobody would know goes missing. So like,
It would make sense. So
you're
I
close
can
to
be-
us, like you're like in alleyways and like, but in the general area we are in.
Yeah. The three of you
Yeah.
can absolutely, especially at least, start together. And if there's anything that catches anyone's interest, you can always split off. Okay. In that case, could I please get investigation checks from everyone with an advantage for Val and Kalista?
Could I make an argument for insight?
Yes.
Because I'm actually looking for people versus...
Okay. Yes,
actual-
if you are specifically getting a gauge on people's feelings around here and not trying to find anything else, but focusing on that, you can absolutely do insight.
Okay, yes.
Would Jaeger do perception instead? Because he's going to essentially run security for these two wizards and periodically pulse divine sense just to
Sure,
get a
absolutely.
feel for baddies in the area.
Absolutely.
Jaeger can always know where a baddie's at.
Jaeger's got
You have
Riz. He
three
always
of-
finds the
You
baddies.
have 4 baddies on your team already.
All right. Val, what did you get?
I did advantage, I got 2 14s. So I'm 14.
Korrin?
So I got 18.
18. Shin?
18.
Jaeger for perception?
16.
Lorwryn?
24.
Okay.
Damn.
Kalista?
19.
All right. As your group splits into two, with Kalista, Lorwryn, and Jaeger heading towards the third terrace, we stay for a little bit with Val and Korrin and Shin here on the low terrace. Shin, you were looking for destitute individuals, poorer individuals that you could find and share some tea with and pry some information out of, potentially. Korrin, you were looking for eateries, also places that people might talk and share. And Val, you were looking for any signs of your typical Cory, any indications of monsters or anything like that. As you all depart Kalista's home, you get a better view of the low terrace. It is just as beautiful as everything that you can see from afar of the Thaval-Ahim. Buildings of white stone, laced with mithril that when the sun hits it, gleam like lights or jewels. The main color that you see around the low terrace is from the clothing that people wear, because the city itself is pretty monochrome. The people give it color. Dressed in furs and traditional garb of their peoples, Goliaths, dwarves, whatever traditional garb would keep them warm while outside of their home. Because once you step back outside, it is really cold up here on the highest mountain peak of the Belt of the World. You're looking at, you're approximately 7,000 meters above sea level right now. It's really, really cold outside. So people are bundled up and they tend to hurry from place to place, especially when the wind is biting too hard. The three of you, as you're walking, shivering probably a lot, you aren't dressed for this. So as you push along, you see a dwarf who is walking, just carrying a sack, walking down one of the many roads and paths and streets here in the low terrace. And suddenly, one of those flying individuals drops down next to them. And they're about 200, 300 feet away from you, but you can still see that the individual who drops down, dressed in clearly military or city guard attire, gleaming mithril armor, has this almost outline of gusting wind around their body as they drop down to the ground and grab the dwarf by the back of the coat that he is wearing, pull the bag off from his shoulder, push him against a wall, and point a finger at him saying something, and then starts to search the bag. The whole thing lasts about 30 seconds, unless you all do anything.
Shin immediately, Korrin, you see it on Shin. You've seen it 1,000 times. The meddling for injustice, and Shin is there. Closes the distance almost instantaneously. Hey, do you know where I could find a bathroom? I've been looking for one for...
Back off, drunk! Do not interfere with Skywatch business.
Ooh, you're a good-looking one. I like you. And while you notice that while he has him distracted with his Shin is with his other hand has the bag, takes the bag. Can I slide a hand, take the bag off him?
You can absolutely try. He's holding the bag, so that's going to be a very high sleight of hand check, but I have seen pickpockets take a lot off of people, so if you make a very high sleight of hand roll here, certainly.
19.
I'm going to give advantage. With advantage gets a nat 20. The advantage is because he's holding the bag. And so
this is awkward.
So as you reach towards it, he puts a hand up to you. Last warning, stay back. And he begins to point a finger towards the sky. This is Skywatch business. None of your concern. We are acting under the order of the Pinnacle Court.
Ooh, fancy. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Standard procedure. Move along.
What?
Move
I am.
along.
I have a bag. Are you gonna search me?
At this point, while they're doing this, I'm going to bump into the Skywatch guy. Like, I'm shuffling down, looking at my feet, like acting kind of like a beggar, and then I'm going to bump into the Skywatch guy. Oh, I'm so sorry. I've lost my glasses. I don't know where they are. If my eyes.
With a 19 on the die on an insight check, as you bump into him, the hand that he had raised to the sky, he clenches into a fist for a moment, and as he releases, a burst of green energy sails from his hand and into the sky. And a large percentage of the flying individuals, the members of the Skywatch, begin to fly towards the signal flare. Back up now!
Are you gonna make me? And then Shin bolts, like just disappears just as fast as he absolutely can. So I'm saying like dash.
Yep, you do everything, boots of speed, everything in your arsenal to get away from here as quickly as possible, leaving Val and Korrin in the near literal dust.
Oh, hey, honey. Oh, hey. Hey there. I found your glasses.
Shuffle away.
Out. No, I'm here. Come here, Val.
It's my granddaughter. She's such a good grandchild.
Yep, it's all right. I'll take care of her. It's okay. You have a good night, all right?
You are saying this to a guard who is no longer paying full attention to you, but you start saying this and shuffling away. And Shin, you hear, the two of you absolutely hear because you're right there. He went that way! Find him! And Shin, I need what is your end goal here? Where are you simply trying to find somewhere that you can lose them? Are you trying to return to Kalista's? What are you attempting to do?
I'm in the alleyways, and I'm just like, the narrower the better.
Okay, we're going to do this as a really quick impromptu skill check. Really quick impromptu skill challenge. I need you to succeed 3 skill challenges before you fail 2. If you fail 2 before you succeed 3, they are going to catch you.
Okay.
So as you take off running at full speed, the Skywatch above you has the advantage of height and the advantage of not having to weave in and out of alleyways. They can follow you much easier than you can escape them. So you can use any skill that you are proficient in to try to escape them. What is the first one you are going to use, and what are you doing?
So what he's doing is he can fly too if he wanted to. What he's doing is trying to break break line of sight. So he's like, if I'm in the air, they're just going to be able to follow me, and I can't fly indefinitely. So he's breaking line of sight. So he's going to use stealth by breaking, like you'll see him, and it's like, because he has the advantage of speed, like he's 10 times faster than any of them, even though they can't fly. So he'll double back at some point, so they're flying their direction, and then he'll double back, and then he's just going through. The narrower the alleyway, the better. And if there's walls, then he just goes over them. It's
So what is the first skill you said you were using?
stealth.
Let's roll it.
That's a 21.
That is going to be a success versus their rolled perception. You dip through alleyways, find overhangs of stone, different lattice sections that are covered with plants that shouldn't be able to grow here, and you break line of sight from those that are above you. But you can still hear, "He's around here! Find him!" What's the next thing you're going to do? As you start to hear, you duck in here and you stop for a second, hoping that you've lost them, but you start to hear those voices get a little bit closer, a little bit louder. I think he's in here! Come on!
He is going to. So what he's going to do is I'm gonna make a sleight of hand check, because he's going to look for a terrace that looks like it has plants. That has those plants that shouldn't be growing where they're growing, but is not connected to the house because it's stone and mithril, right?
Yes.
And he's gonna light it on fire as a way to draw attention, and then go the opposite direction. And the reason why I said sleight of hand is because that's a misdirection.
Yeah,
So that's
you know what?
Magic 101.
I accept that argument, but because of the use of sleight of hand not perfectly fitting with that, that is going to impact the DC here. I'm going to put the DC at 17.
Okay. That is 16. I am 1 under.
Okay, you set fire to this, and you hear shouts of fire, fire, and people from above the Skywatch start to gather, but the fire draws the attention so quickly you aren't able to bolt without them catching sight of you. A few of them. There he goes! After him! That's 1 fail, 1 success. This next one is big.
Maybe I shouldn't have made it so obvious the first time. And then he's gonna be ducking. Now what he's gonna do is he's gonna start looking for windows and start just bolting through people's houses. You know, Aladdin style.
100%. So is that going to be acrobatics?
Ooh, that could be acrobatics. That is acrobatics.
Who's on your side here? So you have a plus 12. Oh dear. But you get a 2 on the die.
Yeah.
For a total of a 14.
Yeah.
One of the windows that you thought, they are incredible glass workers in Thaval-Ahim. You thought it was an open window. So clear and pristine was the glass. And so as you jump through it, there is a much louder crash than you expected, and you weren't prepared for it, so you go rolling. And as there is a family in here of Goliaths that as you just tear through their home, and you go running through the front door. As you open the front door, there's a member of the Skywatch right in front of you. Got ya.
Yeah, he did.
And we're going to cut to the other group.
I'm so disappointed in you, Shin. Come on.
This is amazing! I didn't plan for this at all! I'm so excited!
Have tea with someone without causing a scene.
I prepared for a lot. I had a lot of eventualities. You getting arrested in the first hour? Not there. And I'm so excited for this development. Because we now kind of have 3 groups. And so actually, before we jump to Jaeger and Lorwryn and Kalista, let's pick back up for a second with Korrin and Val. The guard who Shin had dealt with, after sending them on their way, looks to the 2 of you. Get out of here, now! Don't let me see you causing any trouble again.
I wasn't going to cause any trouble.
Good.
Come on, dear.
You're going to see us both shuffle away together, and I'm still playing that kind of, senile grandma part really terribly. And then when we get out of sight, I'm going to say to Korrin, Did he really get himself arrested? Is he going to get himself arrested in the first 30 minutes that we're out here?
And just looks at Val. Let's be real. He's most likely probably going to get arrested.
Yeah.
At least we'll know where he'll be.
Yeah. I think we should keep looking, and we're going to have to deal with that when he gets to whatever their lockup is here.
I got bail money. Better not be a lot. Good Lord.
Oh, I was going to break him out. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, that's also a viable option as well.
So.
Haven't done a jailbreak in a while.
That seems a fitting time to cut to the other group. Jaeger, Lorwryn, and Kalista. As you're departing the lower terrace, could all 3 of you make me perception checks?
5 minutes. Couldn't even last 5 minutes. It's like fucking children.
I mean, I still got a 20, but I rolled a nature.
We'll take your first roll, Lorwryn. You rolled a
disappointed.
17.
Yeah.
And you have a +7. So
Yeah.
24 for Lorwryn.
22 for Kalista.
14 for Jaeger.
The elf eyes have it.
Jaeger, you don't notice the signal flare. But that's the only part of what I'm about to describe. You don't notice that the other two do. Kalista and Lorwryn, you just happen to be looking back when you see a magical light fly up into the sky and then... and there is suddenly a commotion, a flurry of activity from the sky watch above. A dozen or so descending on that area where the light was, and then apparently chasing after something. Descending, rising again, but clearly in pursuit of something.
I would put even money that is Shin's doing.
We've been here 5 minutes. Not even 5 minutes.
He's
How?
like a spoiled child. He sees something, feels the need to interfere.
We are in a city where we need to keep our head down.
I think we sent the wrong group for keeping heads down.
Well, perhaps we can sneak around while they are causing the distraction.
Clever. I like it.
All right. The three of you continue, and you reach one of the many wonders of Thaval-Ahim, one of the bridges that connects this low terrace to other parts of Thaval-Ahim. It connects directly to the majority of locations here in Thaval-Ahim, from the main mountain spire to the other terraces and the cloud market as well. And the bridge, all of the bridges, but the bridge you take to the third terrace is, for those of you who've never been here, a bit of a vertigo-inducing experience, because as you walk across this glass bridge, suspended by enchantments and woven mithril, you can see everything below you. Thousands upon thousands of feet in the air, and just a sheer drop beneath you. As you get halfway across the bridge, closer to the third terrace, the bridge starts to become decorated with sculptures carved from the white stone of the mountain range itself. Large, dozens, hundreds of feet tall, these sculptures depicting elves riding clouds, striding across the sky. And as you make your way into the third terrace, it's not so different from the low terrace. The construction of the buildings is much the same. The main difference is the fact that you see a lot more elves and a lot fewer of every other species. And Kalista, you were heading to look for an old friend, someone
Yes.
that you have known here in Thaval-Ahim. Who are you looking for?
Ashmara is a friend I'm looking for. And it's been a few hundred years since I last saw her, but she lived just on the outskirts of the cloud market in a small house nearby.
She lives right on the perimeter of the third terrace near the bridge that connects right to the cloud market. Prime real estate, all
Yeah.
things considered. And who is Ashmara to you? Why did you seek her out?
To younger Kalista, she was a guardian. Somebody who would take care of her and her sister when times were rough and things were unforeseen. Since then, Kalista has kept semi in touch via letters as a friend, but not often.
As you approach her home, or at least where she resided when you last saw her, Lorwryn, are you sticking with, or would you be breaking off to do something else?
We've split the party enough.
It can be split up to 6. All right. So the three of you arrive to the house. Just standing outside of it, you see elves going about their business. For what it is worth, Kalista, your instinct was correct. You do see those same notices that are posted in various areas here. Not plastered to the same extent, but you do see them as well here. Jaeger?
Do we notice, once we're up on this third terrace, that the common populace, are they taking note of us? Are we sticking out, just being ourselves, other than being, huge?
You stick out. That's for sure. Jaeger absolutely draws gasps and attention and clears the road that you are walking on before you even have to say excuse me. Just his presence is enough to create an opening for you. But the two people that you're traveling with are elves.
Are there other drow and things like that around here, or am I sticking out because I'm the only drow around?
You see a few, you could count them on one hand, but
Okay.
they do exist.
Okay. I mean, we're pretty opulently dressed, I imagine, still too.
You are a little, if anything, draws people's attention to the two of you. It is your mode of dress, and it's not the fact that it's opulent; it's the fact that you look fairly underdressed for the weather. And so they just there are some people who look at you walking through the -5-degree wind, just okay.
Completely unfazed by the cold.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hey, you put a mask on, you look good.
That's fair.
I was wondering if the guards are paying any special attention to those that are not elves, as it is getting close to evening, and
The presence of the Skywatch is noticeably lower here. It's not non-existent, but you only see a small handful overhead. And right now, you don't notice any such pesterings.
Okay.
But the sun is still visible. It is not night yet, even though twilight is coming.
Cool.
Could all three of you make me, or what are your passive insights?
11.
Okay.
16?
Heck yeah.
16.
Kalista and Jaeger.
Oh, 17.
Oof.
Damn, girl.
Kalista and Jaeger. Lorwryn, you would have noticed this. I just think you were more paying attention to your initial question of I'm not the only drow here, right? So you were looking around confirming that. Kalista and Jaeger, when you see people here in the third terrace stop and read those postings, for the most part, not all of them, for the most part, there's a very different response to those postings than what you saw down in the low terrace, where people shrugged or sighed or shook their head. Here you hear grumbles of approval. It's about time. Oh, I'll teach them. Maybe they'll leave. Oh, the Pinnacle Court is doing what they feel they must to protect us. As long as it's not us. Better them than us, huh?
Kalista's jaw is set when she hears those comments. And she's kind of absent-mindedly casting and recasting a cantrip to keep herself from doing something worse, as she makes her way to the doorway of her friend.
Were they always like this?
They were. I think this is just giving them an opportunity to express themselves more freely.
Interesting.
Let's get out of here as soon as possible. And she's going to knock on the door.
You knock on the door. A few seconds later, it opens, and you see a familiar elven woman, a little bit older than the last time you saw her. How long would you say it's been?
About 300 years.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. Though, she's aged very gracefully and very minimally, as elves tend to do. But you can see the centuries on her face. And as she opens the door... Yes? Kalista?
Took you longer than I thought.
What are you doing here, child? And just sweeps you into a hug. Oh, my heart. Oh. And after a embrace pushes you apart and hands on your shoulders, just looks at you and then brushes your hair out of your face as she used to do so many times. Oh, look at you. Oh, your mother and father would be so proud. Oh, come in, out of the cold, come in.
Of course. This is Lorwryn and...
Oh, Lorwryn, pleasure to meet you.
And this is Jaeger. And she'll give a nod to the robot.
Oh. I'm not sure I have any seats that will accommodate you, but please, come inside. Watch the door frame, please. As Jaeger has to duck inside. Even though the doorway is about 8 feet tall, that makes it still 4 feet too short for you. And you step in and... oh, it's like stepping back in time. So little has changed in here. Yeah, she's rearranged furniture, replaced some blankets that were threadbare centuries ago. But the warmth from in here, both literally and figuratively, remains. And for the record, Jaeger and Lorwryn, since you'd be the ones who might not expect this, Kalista's home was chilly. This home is warm when you step inside. Not blistering, but a good, 65 degrees in here. It's comfy, nice. Come in. Tea? Juice? What can I get you all? Don't let me be a bad host.
He would be lovely, thank you. Lorwryn?
Tea?
Yes, please. That would be fantastic.
Of course. Just a moment. Kalista, you please make yourself at home, my love. And Ashmara scampers off to the kitchen, and you hear the clinking of teacups and saucers.
When she turns around to go, a soft pulse will go out, and he's going to cast Divine Sense. Any baddies about?
Nothing prickles your senses.
The room seems clear.
Well, of course it's clear. As she steps back in with a tray. I don't know what you were expecting. I do keep a clean home. And she sets it down. Despite my past, I've gotten better about it, I promise, Kalista. Tea, here.
Of course.
Distributes 2 cups to Lorwryn, one to Lorwryn, one to Kalista. You know she's brought 4, and she pours 3, and as she goes to pour the 4th, she just kind of looks up at you, Jaeger.
He would be quite lovely, thank you.
Of course, sorry, I didn't want to assume. She passes it up to you. Well, Kalista, it's been a little while. I have meddled a little bit and kept up on some of your doings, and I hear that you are now second thread warden of Highgale. Congratulations!
Thank you.
I always knew that you were capable of so much. You and your sister both.
Ashmara, I wish that this was a social visit. I wish I had the time to regale you stories of my life up until now and hear all of yours. But unfortunately, our time is... I need to know what is going on in the city. I need to know now.
Thaval-Ahim. Life in Thaval-Ahim goes much like it usually does. The Cloud Gardens, the gardeners there have recently managed to cultivate new fruits, so we even have plums now.
Ashmara. The postings, the curfew, the searches of my people.
Oh.
That is what I'm wondering about.
She finishes mixing a little bit of sugar into her teacup and stirs it a little bit. Sits back in her chair. Oh, you mean all the happenings in the low terrace? Well, much like you and your family, some of the families in the low terrace are perfectly delightful, but there apparently have been rumors, and they have found that some individuals are working to undermine Thaval-Ahim. I'm sure you've seen the alignment, and according to what we heard from the council in Highgale, there may be dark forces interfering in Ivor. And apparently some of the residents of the Low Terrace have been helping them, working with them, taken in by them. And so certain measures were put in place recently by the Pinnacle Court to make sure that Thaval-Ahim stays safe. That's all.
We both know that the Low Terrace can barely scratch Thaval-Ahim. It can barely scratch the court. You know that the people down there are not the ones that will bring this city down. Please, don't pretend to be a sheep now.
Kalista, I admire your growth and who you have become so much, but you've been away for a long time. And like I said, like you said, there are many there who are wonderful. But if there are any who are attempting to aid those dark forces, then what do you expect the Pinnacle Court to do? Simply allow it?
Or they could search every person. Put the curfew on all of the terraces.
And she, scoffs a little into her tea as she takes a sip. Why would they need to do that? The residents of the first, second, and third terrace aren't any threats. They are the longest-lived children of Ivor. The true children of Thaval-Ahim. No. And if there is a problem that occurs within those terraces, I have no doubt that the Pinnacle Court, in their wisdom, will do what needs to be done. But for now, that isn't where the problem is.
Kalista's going to take a very slow sip of her tea. Slowly puts her teacup back down on the table before looking over to Lorwryn for just a moment. And then turning back to her old friend. Ashmara, when I was a child, I fell for your lies. I believed that through sheer willpower, I could rise like you. I could sit on this terrace. I truly thought at one point I would sit on the court. But it took years of walking this world to realize how wrong this concept is. You are not superior to those on the north. You are not superior to those on the lower terrace. And if they should be searched, then you should be searched. If they pose a risk, then you pose a risk.
My sweet child, if it would make you feel better, I will go out and call the Sky Watch and invite them to search my home right now. I have nothing to hide. And any of those on the low terrace who have nothing to hide either should not be... It shouldn't be it's just a precaution.
You are missing the point. Those that are not of the oldest race, or of the true race as you like to think of it, have been segregated for long enough in town and treated like lower people. I came here in the hopes of finding a friend, of finding answers and useful information, not bigotry. I think we're done here. Lorwryn, do you have anything else to add?
No, my dear, it was wonderful meeting you. I am so sorry under such terms.
It was a pleasure to meet you as well, Lorwryn. I'm sorry that this was our conversation, a little less pleasant than I typically prefer over tea. And Kalista, I forgive you for your words. You are still young, and you have much still to learn, and that's all right. It took me a long, long time to grow. And you have risen so high, and I am so proud of you. But you're not done yet.
No.
And these doors will always be open to you with all of the love that I have for you.
If you think I will ever darken your doorstep again, you are so wrong. If you think I would cross the street to piss on you if you were on fire, you are wrong. You think you are above us. You think because you... I am one of them. I have always been one of them.
Kalista, you're not one of them. You and your family are wonderful and good. It's all right. I understand. Finish your tea if you'd like it. You're welcome back here whenever you wish. My door is always open to you and Saren, who I hope is doing well.
She's going to stand. And she is going to place the tea cup on the saucer. And she's going to turn to Jaeger. Jaeger, I think it's time for us to go. She is not worthy of our time or efforts at this point. And unfortunately, I feel like none of these people will be. And she will turn and leave.
Jaeger's going to put the little tiny teacup back on the table.
Oh, thank you, love.
Thank you for the tea. And as he turns to go, it was a bit stale, and walks out.
She, grabs the... You all don't even see this, but as you walk out, maybe Lorwryn, you see it if you leave last, as she, reaches towards the container where the tea leaves in and gives it a sniff. That's true.
Well, Lorwryn will lean in and gently place the cup on the saucer as well, and then put both of them on there as leaning in, and she will just kind of look over again and just kind of bow for just a moment and just, whisper, "Big brother is watching." And then she will get up and follow her two compatriots out the door.
Oh, Lorwryn, can I steal one moment of your time before you leave? Just give me one moment.
She'll turn and look for her.
She walks off and you hear a door open and then shut. And when she comes back, she returns with two coats, winter coats lined with fur on the inside. This one should fit you. And this one was actually Kalista's mother's. Would you mind making sure that she gets it? She seems so underdressed.
Thank you. That was so kind of you. And then she'll turn to leave.
Sees you to the door and shuts it behind you.
So now I'm standing there with two coats, just kind of like, hey.
Kalista, you recognize one of the coats that Lorwryn exits with. You saw your mother wear it all the time.
Leave those on the stoop.
She winks and turns around to make sure that the woman isn't still there, looking out a window or anything like that, and just gently lays them. Power is in tearing human minds to pieces and putting them back together in new shapes. They clearly are doing their work here.
And these shapes are ill-fitting.
Whatever form they take this time, are doing their best to dehumanize and make the other the sacrificial lamb. Just consolidate power. For what after that, I do not know, but they are playing a dictator playbook to a perfect T.
And they picked the perfect playfield. This town
That
wasn't
they did.
far off before. What do you suggest we do?
We regroup for sundown and see where we can go with that, because we either kill this thing immediately, or we have an army to fight, much like we did in Higale. Unfortunately, this one is not going to be the undead. It is going to be your citizens.
These aren't my people. And I would gladly kill every one of them.
It's okay. In the face of pain, there are no heroes.
You are not wrong there.
Shall we?
We shall.
And she'll put her arm within Kalista's to walk off with, I'm assuming, Jaeger kind of coming behind us like you do.
She will gladly take Lorwryn's arm and lead the way out of this place.
We pick back up with Korrin and Val and Lorwryn and Kalista and Jaeger all reuniting at Kalista's abode. Not Shin. We'll get to you, Shin, don't worry.
Do you two wish to explain what happened 5 minutes after we fucking left you on the street?
Shin does what Shin does. He was trying to help a citizen during one of those searches and got himself arrested.
I don't expect Val to hold Shin back, but Korrin, you normally are a voice of reason.
Kalista, I have a question for you in regards to that statement. What's the voice of reason to a brick wall? And just looks at her with judgmental face.
He was always dense, I know.
It is a beautiful thing, the way you paint with words, Korrin.
You. We have to go get him out of jail now, wherever that might be.
I assume I would know where the jail resides.
Yeah, you absolutely would. The prison of Thaval-Ahim would be located in the same building as the Pinnacle Court. That is also where the High Adjudicator, the individual who acts as judge and constable of Thaval-Ahim, is also located, so having all of those administrative and legal things in one place is the most convenient.
Well, thankfully, we will be able to pick him up on the way, so to say.
One note, that's the main prison. There are other cells that are for the worst offenders. They are built on the bottom of the different terraces.
Okay, but he just ran away from some cops.
I'm not saying he's there. I'm just telling you something you know, and that is that the worst cells are built underneath the floating sections of mountain, so there is nothing beneath you.
He ran away from the cops, and he's not of the first children of Evora, as she says is the smarkiest possible way she can. Where do we believe they will take him?
I'm thinking general populace. I don't suspect they will hang him yet.
Oh, you guys do hangings here?
Not in the...
to hang somebody that can fly.
True, but it's not in the rope around the neck style hangings. It's far crueler and far slower.
It's dark. I assume it is dark right now.
It is full twilight. You have about 15 minutes or so before the total, beautiful, clear night dominates.
And I assume we won't be able to get him at night. We'll have to wait until tomorrow to retrieve him?
Most likely, yes. I mean, I'm free to walk this town. If you want me to check tonight, I can try knocking on the door.
You can walk around at night here?
Yes, I can.
Because you're an elf, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that means 3 of us could go.
Do you think it's a useful thing to do for tonight, or should we just get him in the morning and hope sitting on his hands for a few minutes teaches him some lessons?
That's not going to teach him any lessons. I think he's learning probably terrible habits right now as we speak. But I think being out at night might be nice to see what everything's about.
I feel like we will have to answer a lot of questions at night, though. I know that you may be able to walk the streets, Kalista, and God knows they will not be able to find me. It's the question of whether, if they see any of you, if they will start to question where you are, who you're with, want to check everything. Doesn't he have a bag of holding on him? Holy fuck, is Zariel's crown and fucking sword now in lockup? Are you fucking kidding me? This motherfucker went and got himself locked up with 2 fucking pieces from the Archduchess that we just had to cash waste to get off of you in the first fucking place.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Yeah. At least they don't know what to seek in the bag of holdings, so it's unlikely they'll even know they're in there.
Many arch wizards are here, though, that could dispel the bag. As she looks down, knowing, spellcaster to spellcaster, like, what I'm asking.
A fair few, yes.
Fuck in all languages.
Lorwryn just starts going through about 9 or 10 different...
So time might be important in this. Perhaps we should try to fetch him tonight before they get curious with the bag.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't be a terrible idea.
So, as the 5 of you start to come up with a plan to rescue Shin from himself, we pull out from this residence in the low terrace of Thaval-Ahim, and we see as night fully descends, no clearer sky could there ever be anywhere on Ivor than here in Thaval-Ahim, at the top of the belt of the world. And we see hundreds of stars, a blanket of them, but 6 coming closer together in the night sky. One of those almost looks like it winks And that's where we'll pick up next time to see what is happening with our friend Shin. Wow! What a session!
If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review, a comment, and share with your friends. Want to support the podcast and get some behind-the-scenes content and some extra goodies? Check out Go Buff Yourself on Patreon. Lords of Sin is Cory J. Phillips as Shin, Danielle Phillips as Valkerie, TheMalloMan as Lorwryn, Aaron as Jaeger, Matty as Kalista, Mav as Korrin, and Ethan as all the other stuff.